Okay, so we're on to our next section, which is add a conditional behavior in Kotlin, which is Unit 1, the basics in Kotlin, Pathway 4, Lesson 3, I believe. Add conditional behavior in Kotlin. All right. So in this code lab, we're going to create another dice game, Lucky Dice Roller, trying to roll a lucky number. Your program will set a lucky number and then roll a dice and then check the roll against the lucky number and print out an appropriate message to the output. To accomplish this, you will learn how to compare values and make different decisions in the Kotlin program. To help you focus on the programming concepts without having to worry about the user interface, the app you will use is the browser-based programming tool. So we'll open up the browser-based programming tool. Okay. And we'll just reset it. Okay. All right. Prereqs, how to open the Kotlin program, ability to run Kotlin programs that uses variables, functions with arguments, classes, and methods that prints results to console. Well, you'll learn how to use if-else statements, how to compare values using operators such as greater than, less than, or equal to. Oh. How to use when statements to choose an option based on a given value, what the Boolean data type is, and how to use its true and false values for decision making. A Kotlin-based dice roller game, Lucky Dice Roll, which allows you to specify a lucky number. A player will win if they roll a lucky number. But you'll need a computer with internet connection. Okay. Decision making. Um, Decision making with your code. Your Lucky Dice Roller program needs to determine whether the user has rolled a lucky number and gets a congratulations, or instead gets a message to try again. As an app developer, you need to make a decision about how the app should behave and create different outcomes for your users. If you are building a shopping app, you may show different screens based on the delivery option a user chooses. For a quiz game, you would show different screens based on whether or not the player answered correct. Depending on the app, there could be many possible outcomes, which you will want to account for in your code. In your Lucky Dice Roller program, the app should handle different cases, such as if the dice roller is the lucky number, then display a congratulations message. Else, if the dice roll is not a lucky number, display the message to try again. To add this logic to your code, use Kotlin's special keywords such as if, else, and when. Let's look at some examples. Use an if statement to set up a condition that is met. Inspect the code. Can you guess what the output's going to be? Yeah, they make a number variable, set it equal to 5. They say if the number is greater than 4, print out the variable is greater than 4. So when we print this out, it's going to say that the variable is greater than 4. So we'll go ahead and type this stuff in. Okay. Val num equals 5 if num is greater than 4, and line the variable is greater than 4. Okay. Yep. Observe the output, which is the variable is greater than 4. Decision-making process. For this program, create a variable num and set it to 5. If it is true that num is greater than 4, print out the value greater than 4. In all other situations, do nothing. In the above example, num is set to 5. The if statement compares to if the value is greater than 4. Since that is true, the system next executes the instructions in the curly braces and prints the message. All right. Notice that the general format for the if statement start with the if keyword, follow the two parentheses. Inside the parentheses goes the condition, and the condition is anything that can be true or false. For example, whether a number is greater than another number. Follow the two curly braces. Inside the curly braces, put code to execute if the condition is true. If condition is true, execute this code. Boolean data types for a program to test whether a condition is met is called evaluating the condition. The result of evaluating a condition is true if it is met or false if it is not met. Developers also say the condition evaluates to true or the condition evaluates to false. Conditions can only evaluate to true or false. Just like there is a data type for integers and int ranges, there is a data type for true and false, and that data type is called Boolean. You will encounter Boolean type variables later in this course. Use an if statement to set up conditions that is not met. What do you expect to happen if you change the number to 3? Let's find out. Nothing. Doesn't print anything because we haven't set up any other conditions besides greater than 4. All right. Yep, and that's exactly what it says. Use an else to create an alternative for failed conditions. Rather than doing nothing, you can offer your users an alternative when a condition is not met. Just like with regular language, if you can do that with an else statement, or you can do that with an else statement. Add an else statement to the print message for when num is not greater than 4. As shown below, what do you expect to happen? So it has everything we had before, then it adds the else statement, print, the variable is less than 4. Okay, so if the variable is not greater than 4, else print the variable is less than 4. All right, so let's go ahead and type that in. Else print variable is less than 4. Perfect. So let's run it. And now it says the variable is less than 4 instead of greater than 4. All right. Yep, variable is less than 4. Notice that when num has a value of 3, the program prints the message the variable is less than 4 associated with the else statement because num is not greater than 4. Change the num to 5 and run the program again. Now it is true that the num is greater than 4, so the program prints the value variable is greater than 4. Change the number to 4 and run it. Now 4 is not greater than 4. The program prints the variable is less than 4. While the variable um, while the variable is less than 4 is the correct output for the conditions you have set up in the code, that printed statement is not accurate since 4 is not less than 4. What you can do is add another condition that checks for the third possibility, whether the num is exactly 4 and prints the correct statement. Use an else if combination. Okay. You can have more than one condition. For example, this is how you can cover all the possibilities. If number is greater than 4, print that. Else if number is equal to 4, print that. Number is equal, else print variables less than 4. All right. So we'll add an else if. Okay. Num is equal to 4. All right, so if we do 3, prints out less than 4. We do 5, unresolved. Oh, I spelled it wrong. If we do 5, variable is greater than 4. If we do 4, variable is equal to 4. All right, cool. Experiment with changing the value of num. Just did that to see how it affects the output. Change num to 2, 6, so you can see the conditions are still true. 2. Yep, less than 4. 1. Variable less than 4. 8. Variable is greater than 4. All right. Control flow. When you look at the above if-else statements, the code will execute or flow as controlled by the conditions. So the way you guide execution with these conditionals is called control flow of the program. Let's say your dice roll, number 3, let's say your dice roll is a 3. The program now checks the first condition. Num is greater than 4 is false, so then the program checks the next condition. Num is equal to 4, which is false, so then the program executes the else statement, which is the final condition or option. If your dice roll is a 6, the first condition, num is greater than 4, is true. The program prints out the variable for variable is greater than 4 message. Since the condition is true, it doesn't have to check the rest and is done with the if else statement. Use the else plus if the combination to add all. Use an else plus if combination to add alternative conditions. Okay. Create a lucky dice roll game. In this section, using what you learned in the previous task, you will update the dice roller program to check whether you have rolled a present lucky number. If you have, you win. Set up your starter code. If you are starting the lucky dice roller with the code similar to the solution code of the previous Kotlin dice roller program, you can edit the main function in your previous code to match, or you can copy and paste the code below to get started. So let's do that. This is the code we wrote last time we were doing this. Oh. Okay. So roll your 6-sided dice, roll a 1. 6-sided dice, roll a 1. 6-sided dice, roll a 5. Roll a 4. Okay. So every time you run the above program in the playground, a main function is called. This creates a new instance of dice. And calling roll method on it. So every time you run the program, the value of the dice roll may be different. Check if the lucky number has been rolled. Create a lucky number first and then compare the dice roll with that lucky number. In the main, delete the print line statement. Okay. Add a val called lucky number and set it to 4. So we'll delete our print line statement. We'll add a val called lucky number and set it equal to 4. All right. Should look like that. It does. Below, add an if statement with a condition inside parentheses that checks if the roll result is equal to the lucky number. Leave some room between the curly braces so you can add more code. If roll result is equal to lucky number. Okay. Inside the curly braces, add a print line statement to print you win. Okay. Run your program. You need to run it several times before you get lucky and see the winning message in the output. You win. Nothing. 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 Man, out of all those rolls, I only got 1 4. I got you win on the first one. Come on. There we go. Oh my god. And you win. Alright, so I got 2 4s out of about 20 rolls. Let's see. Respond when the lucky number has not been rolled. Getting no feedback from the program if the user didn't win can leave them wondering if the program is broken. It is good practice to always provide, excuse me, a response when the user does something. For the lucky dice roller program, you can let them know that they didn't win by using an else statement. Add an else statement to print you didn't win, try again. All right. So if, all right, else print line, you didn't win, try again. 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 You win. All right, cool. That works. Should look like this, and it does. Run the program, and no matter what the outcome, your user is always notified. At this point, users know if they won or not, but not why. Always give users some information so they understand the result of their actions. Imagine your program was a loan application. You didn't get approved because your credit rating is poor. Is a lot more information than sorry, no loan for you, try again. The lucky dice roller can give users a different information message for each roll if they lost. Use multiple else if statements to accomplish this. Add else if statements to print a different message for each roll. When refer to the format you learned in the previous task. Okay, else if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay. So, okay. Sorry you rolled a 1. Sorry you rolled a 2. Sorry you rolled a 3. Okay. So else will be 6. You didn't win. You rolled a 6. Please try again. All right, so I'm going to just copy this print line. Actually, I'll copy the whole thing. I can just add the copy. Paste. Okay. Else if num or roll result is equal to, well, lucky number is the 4. 5. Then you didn't win, you rolled a 5. Okay. Now, oh, where'd I go? So I'll copy that, and then I can just have that. Copy. Oh, just shouldn't keep doing that. So I'll paste again. So I just did 5, so I'm going to go to 3 because 4 is our lucky number. We rolled a 3. Okay. You rolled a 2. 2. Okay. You rolled a 1. Okay. So if roll result equals lucky number and lucky number is equal to 4, print you win. Else if roll result equals 1, sorry you rolled a 1, please try again. Else if roll result is equal to 2, sorry you rolled a 2, try again. Else roll result is equal to 3, you rolled a 3, please try again. Else if roll result equals 5, you rolled a 5, please try again. Else you didn't win, you rolled a 6. Okay. Let's see what works. You didn't win, you rolled a 2, please try again. You didn't win, you rolled a 1, please try again. You win. Your win. Just change that to you win. Sounds weird. Alright. You didn't win, you rolled a 1. Please try again. Alright, so good. That's working. In the code above, check whether roll result is a lucky number. If the roll result is the lucky number, print the winning message. Otherwise, check whether roll result is 1, is 2. Otherwise, keep checking through 5. 6 is the only option left, so don't need to do an else if, just do an else. For the last possibility, you can only have one if statement. You can only have one if statement with one else statement in an if-else code block. But between, you can have as many else-if statements as you'd like. Because having multiple else-if cases is very common, Kotlin has a simpler way of writing them. Use a when statement. Testing for many different outcomes or cases is very common in programming. Sometimes the list of possible outcomes can be very long. For example, if you are rolling a 12-sided dice, you'd have 11 else-if statements between the success and the final else. To make these statements easier to write and read, which helps avoid errors, Kotlin makes available a when statement. You're going to change the program to use a when statement. A when statement starts with the keyword when, followed by parentheses. Inside the parentheses goes a value to test. This is followed by curly braces, the code to execute for different conditions. In your program in main, select the code from the first if statement to the curly braces. That closes the last else statement. Alright, so select the code from the first if. That closes. Alright. That closes the last else statement and delete it. Okay, so basically delete the whole if statement. Alright. In the main, below the declaration of lucky number, create a when statement because your when needs to test against the rolled result. Put the roll result between parentheses and add curly braces with some spacing. Okay, you can do that. When roll result. Before the first test, whether roll result is the same as lucky number, inside the curly braces of the when statement, add a statement that tests the roll result against lucky number. If they are at the same, print the winning message statement looks like this. If basically lucky number, if lucky number or when lucky number comes up, print you win. This means you have put the value you are comparing to roll result, that's lucky number, followed that with an arrow, and then the action to perform if there is a match. Read this as If roll result is lucky number, then print you win. Add your main code to look like this. Okay, so when roll result is lucky number, print line. Use the same pattern to add the lines and messages for 1 through 6. Okay. All right. So when roll result, and then the things, and then the print lines. All right. So instead of deleting this, let's just copy and paste. So when roll result is lucky number, and we're just gonna take this and put it here. Okay. When roll result is 1, we're just gonna take this, put it up here. Okay. When roll result is a 2, we're gonna put something there. When roll result is a 3, we're gonna put something there. When roll result is a 4, well, lucky numbers 4. When roll result's a 5, we're gonna put something there. When roll result is a 6, we're gonna put something there. Okay. Okay, so this is my 2. This is my 3. This is my 5. This is my 6. All right. Okay. Function main. All right. See if it still works. You win. I got a 4, I think. You win. I got a 4 again. You didn't win. You got a 3. Yeah, 2 4s in a row. Look at that. You didn't win. You got a 6. You didn't win. You got a 1. All right. So that's working with the when statement. When roll result is lucky number, this 1, this 2, that 3, that 4, 5, this 6, that. All right. Congratulations, you have learned 2 ways of printing messages depending on condition. That is a powerful tool for writing interesting programs. Indeed. Next, here's the solution code. All right. Summary. So we learned use an if statement to set up conditions for executing some instructions. For example, if the user rolls the lucky number, print a winning message. The Boolean data type has values of true and false. It can be used for decision making. Compare values using operators such as greater than, less than, or equal to. Use a chain if-else statement to set multiple conditions. For example, print a different message for each possible dice roll. Use an else-if statement at the end of the chain of conditions to catch any cases that may be covered explicitly. If you cover the cases for 6-sided dice, an else-if statement could catch the 7 and 8 numbers rolled with an 8-sided dice. Okay, so we can add an else if we change the dice size. Use a when statement as a compact form of executing code on comparing values. All right, general form of else. If condition is true, execute this code. Else if condition is true, execute this code. Else, execute this code. When statements. When variable is matches this value, execute this code, matches this other value, execute this code, and so on and so forth. All right, learn more. All right. vocabulary for Android basics in Kotlin. Flow control is what we talked about here. So basically, based on a condition, do one thing or the other. When statements and conditionals like if else. Practice on your own. All right. Practices are optional, but they provide an opportunity to practice what you've learned in the code lab, sometimes including the coding challenge. Do the following. Change my first dice to have 8 sides and run your code. What happens? When you increase the number of sides, your when statement does not cover all the cases anymore. So for uncovering cases, nothing is printed. Fix the when statement to account for all 8 sides. You can do this by adding cases for additional numbers. Challenge, instead of adding new cases for each number, use an else statement to catch all cases that are not explicitly covered. Hint, you can add more cases to cover more side. That is a good way to do this. If you want a different message for each number to be rolled, you can use an else statement that prints the same message for all sides greater than 6. Change my first dice to only have 4 sides. What happens? Changing the number of sides of the dice to less than what is covered by the when statement has no noticeable effect since all the cases are covered. Okay, so it says, all right, so right now we're passing in the number of sides here. So right now it's set to 6. It says the first thing is to do is to make it 8 sides. Let's see what happens. You win, so I must have rolled a 4. Nothing came up, so I must have rolled a 7 or an 8. Okay, so it's saying I could do 2 more whens for 7 and 8 now. And I could just you rolled a 7. You rolled 8. Okay. And then this should work. 6. You rolled a 7. Okay, so those work. Or I could just do an else, it says. In a when? Else. Yeah. And I could say you didn't win. You rolled a number higher than 6. Let's see if that works. You didn't win, you rolled a number higher than 6. Oh, cool. So you can use an else statement within a when statement. It's pretty wild. I didn't know that. And then it says change it so the sides are 4. And it says there should be no noticeable difference. Okay, it just won't roll any values higher than 4. You rolled a 1. You rolled a 2. You rolled a 3. You rolled a 1. You rolled a 2. You rolled a 3. You rolled a 2. You rolled a 2. Can't win this game. You rolled a 1. You rolled a 2. You win. Finally, I rolled a 4. Okay. All right. So I did the extra credit. So that was Add Conditional Behavior, Unit 1, Basics in Kotlin, Pathway 4, Lesson 3. All right. So I'll see you guys at the next video.